I think my attitude changed after I failed. It was more like, oh, well, I've messed up quite badly here. I mean, so many jobs require just the C to get through. I mean, some of the jobs you don't think you need the grade, but then it turns out they want it anyway.
Louis is having to retake his English exams after failing to get a C in his GCSEs. He's one of the many students in the capital who will resit core subjects as part of a government requirement. The rule was put in place 2 years ago, but figures show that the capital is behind the rest of the country when it comes to getting the grade. New figures released by the youth education charity Impetus PEF show out of those who failed the first time, only 12% go on to pass English and Maths by the time they're 19 years old. And statistics are worse for those from disadvantaged backgrounds, with only 8% of the young people who were on free school meals going on to pass Maths GCSE the second time around. The education institution City Gateway, who works with young people after they leave school, says the pressure to perform is just too much for some.
So a lot of these students don't want to do English and Maths. They've already failed their English or Maths once before, sometimes twice or even 3 times. For many of them, a D was actually a stretch for them. Maybe they were predicted an E or an F, and their teachers did really well in school, they did really well in their coursework, really well in their speaking listening, and they just about got a D. And now they're being pushed to get a C, which is just a huge step for the students. Some of our students come in here not being able to form sentences properly, not being able to articulate themselves on paper, even in the most simple of sentences. So for many of them, there's opportunity to do well, but for a lot of them, it can feel like a waste of time because they're so far away, and it's time that we could be putting into their job readiness or into their functional skills or into their employability skills, and it can feel like we're just ticking a box that we have to teach them GCSE.
The charity behind the research believes these attitudes can change if the system is better funded, particularly in further education or FE colleges. The proposed funding would see institutions like City Gateway receive almost £1,000 per pupil, retaking core subjects.
FE colleges have had a cuts of around 15% in the last 5 years and have lost thousands, 15,000 teachers over the last 6 years have left the FE sector. So we just haven't got enough qualified maths and English teachers working in the post-16 sector to be able to give young people the qualifications that they need. If we're going to do this, if we're going to make young people do these resets, let's do it right. So we're calling for an Excellence in English and Maths Fund, which will provide top-up funding for all young people who are taking these resets. So we're hoping this is an incentive for FE colleges and the other institutions that teach these young people to try some new things, to push their abilities and really innovate and get some results for these young people.
As students like Louis prep for their exams, the charity will head to Westminster to make their voices heard later this month, in hope for better results in the future.